Oh, you sent me Invisible Raptor toys, and I have them in
Yes.
my office.
Yes.
You
I was
can't
just
see it,
telling them.
but they're
I
in
was
my
just telling them.
office. And my husband was like, "I'm sorry, what the fuck is this?" And I was like, "It's a movie about an invisible raptor." And he was like, "Okay," like it's his normal.
I was
So,
just telling them,
hi.
I was like, I'm pretty
Hi.
sure, I was like, this name is familiar. I'm pretty sure I mailed her a box of toys.
You
Yeah, okay.
did. And I might
Cool.
give some of them away just because I don't need four. I don't need five. So I
Oh,
might
yeah,
give some of
yeah.
them away just because they're so cool. And the
Uh,
funniest thing I've ever received. So hi y'all. I'm Mary Beth,
Hi.
here in person, not just a floating face on the internet. How are all of you? Congratulations on the movie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
I'm obsessed with this. I'm a Jurassic Park freak, so obviously I was very excited to see this. And how did the three of you come together in general to make film? I don't know who we should start there, but I'm curious how the three of y'all got hooked up together to work on this project.
Yeah.
Uh, I can take that real quick. All three of us have been friends in the industry, sort of in separate zones. Johnny and I were writing together for years, doing a bunch of digital content, comedy sketches, man on the street stuff. And Mike Hermosa was a good friend of mine from another group. And so during COVID, Mike Hermosa called me up and he was interested in just getting the group together. He's like, "Hey, I want to get the group together. Let's try and make something." And he had some pitches that he wanted to pitch to me to write, but it just so happened he called me the morning of the middle of the night Raptor thought that rushed into my head, and I'm like, "Hold on, Mike. Last night at 3 a.m., I had something. I saw it. I think it's amazing, and I want to pitch this." So I pitched it to him, and as soon as I pitched it to him, he goes, "Yeah, fuck my other pitches. Let's go with that." So then I called Johnny Wickham and who we like I said, we've been writing together for years. And I said, "Hey man, here's the pitch. Pitched him a movie about an invisible raptor." And he's like, "I'm in, let's do it." So the next thing you know, we're writing, we get the script together, and then after some different waves of investors and talk and this and that, we got going.
And I
I
still
love
don't remember any of my three pitches that I tried to pitch you that night. They just totally disappeared from
Those
my
are
mind.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
by the way, we wrote this. So, like, this all happened and we were writing this movie. We didn't have any idea that the script would ever even get made. We were just like, okay, let's just do it because it was COVID. We were like, let's just do it. And
Yeah.
so I think that kind of allowed us to, really get silly because we weren't there was no one that was going to tell us yes or no to anything. So we just kind of went crazy with the script and just wrote what we wanted to. And it turns out we got to make the thing that we wanted to make.
Yeah,
I
and we
feel
wrote all the things they tell you not to write.
Yeah.
I like what? Tell me. Tell me more about that.
Well, what characters should or should not maybe get eaten or die? Like, there's a lot of those
Meh.
rules in screenwriting. And how to get rid of characters in movies and when, and just all the things they
Yeah.
tell you not to do.
Yeah, pets, a lot of things with pets.
Pets, yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
of pet
that's
rules.
fair.
And it
Pets. There's
ultimately
some
came down to we just wrote and made a movie that we wanted to see. We're like, should we do this? Well, we think that's kind of funny, so let's do it. So we just took big swings in the beginning, and I think that energy, people felt that energy, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And we're like, well, I guess we got to make the toy now. We got to do this, and we were making the movie without even knowing we were actually making it because it was just yeah, it was
That's true. That's true. We
That's so
we
cool.
Yeah, we went into it not knowing that we were going to make it, but I don't think there was ever any doubt that we eventually would. We just were operating as if like, oh, this is going to happen, so let's just do it. Very optimistically so. And we got really lucky with our investor because there were not really any notes on the script. He was like, yeah, cool, do it.
Wait, that's so incredible. And I love like one that y'all have each other to be like, oh, that's the coolest idea I've ever heard. We have to do it. And then being able to find like-minded people. I feel like it feels so difficult, but when it comes from your heart, it's an invisible dino story from the heart. But you can tell because it's a silly concept, but y'all like the production design and also the character work that is done here instead of just worrying about the invisible dino, which obviously everyone cares about, but like really like Mike, your character and really giving him like a personality and making him lovable. that's hard to do all of that. And so it's really impressive about the balance y'all are able to hit by being silly, but also creating these kind of endearing characters that are fighting an invisible raptor.
Yeah, I think, a lot of movies, and no offense to any other movies, but a lot of movies sort of lack that sometimes. It's like the high concept, but they follow the plot. And we
Yeah.
come from the writing camp of our favorite films were Ghostbusters and, Goonies and Gremlins, where you can have these high concepts, but you can ground it within a world where it feels very real, right? They always say, like, don't put a hat on a hat. So if you have a crazy thing happening in your world, don't load it with crazy people. Make the world feel as real as possible so that that thing stands out. So we
Yeah.
had all the actors play everything very straight, as silly and crazy as the dialogue is at times, and as crazy as everything in the movie that's happening is happening. Everybody played it straight, and I think that carries through. And also having a bond between the characters, the bond between my character Grant Walker and Denny. They're on shaky ground. They're butting heads the whole movie until they realize that they actually need each other for different reasons. And so yeah, we wanted to write a nice buddy movie, and a little love story in there between these two
Yeah.
and Amber as well.
Between the
So
two leads, yeah.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
necessarily Amber, but maybe.
No, but she's in there too.
She's
Yeah,
in
there's a
there. Yeah.
synthesis. There's a synthesis there between,
Yeah.
my character and Amber as well. But yeah, I think that's important to movies. I think if a movie has a heartbeat and a soul, it resonates more. And also our love of film throughout, I think really carries because obviously there's a ton of nods to Spielberg's 80s films in this, and it's a big
I
love
see it
letter.
just your poster in the background is literally an homage to it looks like, yep,
Yeah.
Indiana
Indiana
Jones. Oh my
Jones.
God. I was
Yeah.
like,
That's the
so
first
cool.
poster we made. That's the retro throwback
Oh yeah, yeah,
secret
yeah.
Invisible Raptor poster. Uh
I love
yeah,
it.
that's not the official Welgo poster, but that is
Yeah.
our underground secret. We should actually send you one of those.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. But what I love about this too is like the set. You made Dino World. How did that work in creating your own Dino World and making a dinosaur park?
Great question. First when you write a script, it's an indie film when you have no money, and your whole ploy of writing the script is we're not going to use CG, because we're not going to have a creature, so we're going to save a ton of money. And then as we wrote, we're like, well, the first act has to take place in a dinosaur amusement park. This is like Jurassic Park. And then you realize getting a dinosaur amusement park is not an easy location to get. Um,
You didn't have access to
and
a whole island that you could just film on and like let an
not for this
animatronic die.
one. Not we tried to
Maybe
call
the
Spielberg, but he
sequel.
didn't
Maybe the
answer.
sequel.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, we had gone to a few different locations, and Johnny even like flew to Tennessee to find one. We were kind of like all over the country trying to
Oh
find one.
wow.
Yeah. We
Are you
And
had
guys
one
based
that
in
was
are you guys
like,
in Los Angeles normally?
we're in Los Angeles,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm from Tennessee, and I had heard about a roadside dinosaur amusement park that was like just in this guy's backyard that he had made in Tennessee. And
I've
so I
heard of
flew out
this.
there and like, yeah, I flew out there and the guy was like super nice. And he was like, yeah, you guys can shoot here. But like logistically, it just was not going to work. Like we would have been able to maybe do that, but we wouldn't have been able to afford it. So yeah, Mike,
Flying out there
We,
and
we
everything else, yeah.
but one good thing did come out of that because we did get the Raptor from that guy.
We
oh
did
yeah,
that led us to the Raptor that
So,
we used once. We had a practical Raptor at one point, and it was painted green. It lives under a sheet in the movie.
yeah,
Um,
we have it for one shot,
One
but
shot, yeah.
we sent my parents out on a wild journey to go get it for us.
cross
Yeah,
country.
go pick it up in Tennessee in the middle of nowhere. But yeah,
Wait, hold on. Did they drive
yeah.
it to you? Did they drive you this
They
raptor?
drove it like they live in Nashville. They drove like 4 hours to the tip of East Tennessee in a U-Haul, got it, drove it back to Tennessee to like a trucking place, put it on a truck, and then shipped it to California where we picked it up and used it for one shot. They were
Sorry,
like,
Mike. I didn't mean to
damn.
cut
That's
you off.
movie
I just
magic.
had to
Oh, not
know.
at all. No, no, no. That's a good story. I mean, yeah, the fact that we thought we were going to use it a lot more than we did, and it was just one shot. It was a great practical suit, though. And it also made its own dinosaur noises, which just happened whenever they wanted. So it
Right. We didn't know how to turn
luckily
it off.
never ruined a take somehow. But yeah, so
Haunted
we did that.
dinosaur. Haunted
And,
dinosaur.
and, and then the dinosaur park came through by the sheer will of the gods, the movie gods. I was at a Super Bowl party and just taught, and then this is a name drop, but so Caitlin McHugh Stamos is John Stamos's wife. She plays Amber in the film. I was at a Super Bowl party and I'm talking to her husband John, and he's asking about the movie, and I told him, we're looking for a dinosaur amusement park and it's just been hard to find. And in that moment, my brain was like, "Hey, you went 15 years ago to an Indiana Jones exhibit in Anaheim, California, at this Discovery Science Center called the Cube." And there was the first time I thought about it, first time I pitched it, first time it ever popped in my head, and I tell it to him, and he perks up and goes, "My sister works there." And then he calls his sister over, who's at the same party by chance, and she comes over and says, "Oh my God, you have to shoot at our park." We ended up getting that full dinosaur amusement park to shoot our film, our first act of our film. So there was
Or
some
a
set
significant
dressing,
discount.
major discount, friend rate.
I
Wait, that's
honestly
so
do
wait,
not.
I love it. The John Stamos connections.
Yeah.
Just
Raptor. I mean, besides the fact his wife's in it, but like
Oh yeah.
that, I love movie making is so indie movie making is a nightmare and also magic all at the
We had
same
so many of those
Yeah.
time.
magical
the only
moments
thing.
happen. It seemed like we kept getting wins like right after each other. And it was like, we feel like the movie gods want this movie to be made.
Oh,
So
Hermosa, you should tell her the story about our COVID scare the first day and what you had to do to get us an actor. This is might be the most incredible one of all.
yeah, day one, we were heading to set and we found out about an hour and a half before that one of the lead actors had COVID. So there was this other actor that read for the role that was great. I called him at like 5 in the morning and just left him a message. And he called me back like 30 minutes later, said, "I know my lines, I'll be on set." I think he probably even beat me on to set. And it just so happened that that was day one.
That
That
was
would have
Dave.
ruined if he was not available, we would not have been able to shoot. He was one of the sheriff's deputies. He's the
Yeah,
deputy
he was
Carlisle.
Deputy Carlisle. Yeah.
We would
Okay.
not have been able to shoot. We would have missed our day. Our days were like with indie film, everything is like back to back to back.
Oh
And
yeah. I just shot a movie and it's like, all right, make your day and then the next day and then the next day. Like you only have
yeah,
those 12 hours
it's
to like really get your shit done.
it's a miracle, and it's a miracle that he answered Hermosa's call and called him back, and like the fact that we even had that as an option. I mean, it's really unbelievable to think about because we would have been so bummed. Like I don't know what we would have done.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
we
yeah.
never went back to that location either. That's the one that we never like. We went back to a few, but we never went back to that one, and that would have been
Oh.
Yeah,
pretty.
because those were standing stages,
Yeah,
with
it was at a soundstage.
things like that. So, those aren't cheap. And that guy, the actor Dave Tooney, who came through for us, when we saw him on camera and doing the thing, and the way he came and just crushed it, it's an testament to the right actor is going to get the role. Hell or high
Yep.
water, it's going to happen. If it happens in the 11th hour or you figured it out before, no offense to the other actor, but Dave Tooney was just meant to play it.
And he's so awesome. He's so funny.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Uh,
we have to wrap up shortly, and I just have so many questions, but we have to wrap up. This is a very silly question, but are all of you dinosaur people? Like, did you grow up loving dinosaurs? Were you dinosaur freaks? Because I was, so I always want to know if others were also dino freaks.
I wasn't a freak. Well, what's the barometer for freak? I
Well,
really
okay, here's the freak. So I was freak. I had all these books and like wanted to be a paleontologist and was like hyper fixated on every species of dinosaur. That's the top level for
top
me
level.
is like
Mhm.
that is my level of nerdery.
I was mid. I was probably mid.
Okay,
I had the
very
dinosaur
cool.
books. I like to pretend I was on dig sites, but
Me
I
too.
don't.
I wanted
Yeah,
to
that was
find
kind of
bones
fun.
so bad.
How about you guys? Were you guys dino freaks?
I would say mid. I never wanted to be a dinosaur, but I definitely love them.
I had a healthy fascination with dinosaurs. I wanted to be an archaeologist, so I was always digging up stuff in my backyard. Um,
Cool.
Yeah,
yeah, but
archaeology.
not. I think that was more wanting to be Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
But
I wanted to
yeah, I
be
healthy dinosaur interest.
cool. Hell yeah. I'm always curious. I was a weird dinosaur kid, so I
That's
just always have to ask.
yeah. Well, we needed weird dinosaur kids so that we have people studying dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, did not end up studying dinosaurs, but that's okay. I guess talk to people like you about dinosaurs anyway.
Yeah, invisible
Well,
ones.
exactly. Well, congratulations to the three of you on this movie. I'm so excited that something like this exists in the world, and it's just so cool that this movie got made. Congratulations, y'all.
Thank you so much.